And you talked about like, you have the overnight hours, which is always very interesting. And I remember it was after, I think it was the wild card game and you had me on. It's one of my favorite memories, and not just because it
Oh,
was an amazing experience, but then right after I'm like, oh my gosh, CBS Radio wants me to have on, like, come on. It was really cool. But, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be up that late. And you're like, no, we pre-tape some of the interviews, but you still go
sometimes.
on. Yeah. You
Yeah.
sometimes pre-tape the interviews, but you still go on. So when you have these hours, when I talk about you, people are like, how does she do that? So how do you do it? Just the hours themselves. And you even said like, how do you sleep? But then you also take callers. So how does that work?
Well, yeah, it's tough. The
Yeah.
hours are tough.
Yeah.
It's only the passion, right? I come back to
Yeah.
that over and over. I can be dog tired. This week I had appointments during the daytime. I didn't get to sleep. Plus I'm driving up and back to Syracuse. So I'm gone for a couple of days each week. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot. The spring is always a lot anyway. But I tell people once I get into the studio and I turn that microphone on, a lot of that goes away because I love what I do. Now, last night's a great example of when I was just beat. The NFL draft is 4 hours. There's NBA, there's NHL. It's the end of a long week. And I was wiped out. And so I don't want to say it's fake because it's not fake, but the energy it's a little bit like the fake it till you make it.
Oh, yeah.
Until you feel it kind of a thing. Yeah, it's a tough schedule. I'm generally a night owl. I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
I stink at morning. So the nights fit me a little better. And also I do love at some point, I want to change, but I do love going on right after the events happened. And so it's kind of cool to be that first voice or one of the first voices people hear. So that's kind of me. I mean, that's my excitement, my love for sports, what I want to deliver, that theater of the mind. But yeah, it's off the air at 6 a.m. Eastern time. It's then, the commute out of New York City, which is not opposite traffic. There's no opposite traffic. There's just traffic.
Yeah.
And it's getting home. And now with a husband, right? He's just waking up. He's got his coffee in hand and he's just staring at me over the top of his mug. And I'm like, woo, until my energy runs out, which it does, kind of boom, right into a brick wall. And so I try to read a little bit of fiction, just kind of settle my brain down.
I get that. Yeah.
7:45, 8 o'clock Eastern, I'm generally in bed. If in a perfect world, I would sleep until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but that doesn't happen more than maybe once a week. So it's that I tell people I sleep when there are no sports as much as possible. I sleep when there are no sports. But I flip my schedule every weekend because I don't want to be sleeping all day, Saturday and Sunday. I can't do that really. And so and now being married and we're being in opposite schedules, it's challenging. And like I told you, I feel like I've aged so much over the past 12 years. So I am looking for a change, a little scoop there, a little intel, looking for something different soon. It's scary to think about leaving a very steady gig. And 3 or 4 times since I joined this network, I've had opportunities to change time slots. And for the career, for the lifestyle, I had a dog at home, wanted to make sure that I didn't have to worry about her. I mean, the commute as well. I've chosen to stay where I am. I do love nights, but we change as people, we change as personalities. My focus is different on the radio. So I am looking for something different, maybe a different day part or a different kind of focus of the radio show. We'll see. My contract is up at the end of the year. And I honestly, at this point, have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, I get it.